Guys, it's Josh with Accountability for All. I'm with Auditing America and Scott from Production. Today, we're at the Cedar Junction, Walpole prison, conducting a First Amendment audit. We're going to see if they uphold the oath they swore to defend when they became correctional officers, because they're a state entity, and instead of being by county, they actually have police powers as the Department of Corrections. We're going to go inside and take a look and see if they respect our First Amendment right. Let's take a look.
Stop that, it's not allowed.
Sorry?
Not allowed. Shut the phones off and get off the property.
Is it?
Shut the phones off and get off the
No,
property.
excuse me, sir. You don't have to scream. You know.
You can't hit, you don't seem to be able to hear me.
We called and asked if it was public or private, if it was accessible to the public.
Get out of here.
Did we talk about perimeter?
We spoke to Sergeant Nelson.
Can we speak to a supervisor, please?
Hey, what's going on, miss?
How you doing, ma'am?
Unfortunately, we can't be videotaping.
Under what law?
It's
We spoke to Sergeant Nelson to find out if it was public, if it was accessible to the public, if there was filming. So we spoke to her before we came
on
in.
state property, there is no filming, so I'm going to have to ask you to
Well,
leave
state-
state property.
Well, state property is our property, right?
Is that a
You
lawful
can-
command?
Yes, you need to.
Do you have arrest powers?
If you would like to videotape, you can go back onto Route 1 and you can videotape there.
At the edge of the perimeter?
At the very entrance.
Let me ask you a quick question. Are you a police officer?
No, I'm not.
Do you have arrest powers to the citizens?
Sir, I'm asking you.
No, I'm not trying to
please
have a
leave.
confrontation. I'm just finding out who you are.
I believe you are trying to have a confrontation.
No. We just want to film. We don't have any ill intention. We don't have anything.
I'm
bad.
asking you to leave.
Oh, that's a lawful command. We will leave, but I'm going to call back and speak to your supervisor. Can I have your name, please?
Well, she can't give us lawful commands because she can't arrest us.
Oh, she said it was a lawful command, so I was
Well,
confused.
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna call the police, and
Okay.
and we're gonna debate this because this is a publicly accessible area, and we don't want you guys providing the public with
Okay.
wrong information.
So
All right.
you can go out onto the main road.
We'll give him a
Call the
call.
police.
Actually, we're gonna wait right there, and you guys are
Okay.
you guys are actually violating the First Amendment by doing
Okay.
that. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll call.
Filmer in the public lobby. We're working on a story. We're citizen journalists. They're giving us wrong information. They're saying it's state property. State property is public property. We're not in a restricted area. We're not doing anything illegal in there. We're not creating a disturbance. There's nobody in there.
And we spoke to
she's giving
state-
us lawful orders
Under penalty.
under trespass. She's threatening to trespass me from a public place.
Yeah, you guys can't film in there.
Because
Under
we-
what law?
What'd she tell you?
Well,
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Unless you have corrections business here.
We do. We do.
'Cause we spoke
We're working
to-
on a story about the
We spoke to
correctional
state
department.
police. I just got off the phone with Trooper Bartuca while we were speaking with them, and he said that there's no issue filming
There's
because
no
we're
way
not
that-
in a restricted
there's
access
no way that
point.
he would be able to arrest me for video recording in a public place. That's not a crime. This is a public place. I understand. I understand that.
And
you guys have a job to
we
do.
contacted Sergeant Nelson as well.
I understand, man, but you can have a sign that says whatever. You have to follow the law. We have the right to film in there. You can have a policy that says you're pretty much asking people not to film in the public area.
And
But
Trooper
we don't
Bart-
have to agree to that.
Trooper Bartuca said.
We have freedom of the press.
Trooper Bartuca, badge 3311, said that if we're in a restricted access point, absolutely, there's secure information that's private. But the issue is if we're just in a public place that's this public easement, his exact words, public easement roadway or information center that's open to the general public on public property, he doesn't see the issue. He wouldn't even send a trooper out here. He said if they give you a hard time, I mean, I guess just call us back. It's not illegal to film in public. There's no expectation of privacy.
Not only that, but we're offended at the way that the gentleman over there behind the counter approached us because he's screaming at us.
He's a little mad.
And there's no reason for
And
them
we're
to
not-
treat the public like that.
Are you guys good from it? I'm gonna go talk to him out front.
Thank you. So we're gonna go back in there,
No,
and we're
I'm sorry.
Yes. No, we're gonna. You're not a police. You're not a police officer. We're going with the police officer. Thank you. Thank you. No, we're not. No, we're not. You can't unless they're breaking the law. Not the policy. I could break any policy. I could break any policy in a public place. Unless it's well,
feelings don't trump right.
I wouldn't
Policy
go in there
doesn't trump
smoking
law.
because that's illegal.
Like the First Amendment guarantees you the right to film in a public place.
Inside of your public lobby, of course. It's an indoor place.
I mean,
You can't smoke in there.
state police said
But
it's.
I'm only going in there with a camera.
Regulations because of security and things like that, and there's reasons why you're not supposed to be doing those things.
But those reasons don't trump the Constitution, sir.
That's right.
It's freedom of the press. It's public. We're not in any secure areas. Enough for nothing. If you had private or secure.
The Constitution and the policy and procedure of the institution are a separate thing.
Yeah, law is law, sir.
Well, we're waiting for the assistance of the police
Law
to come
is
back
law.
and tell us.
No, you think if the police officer didn't agree with us, he wouldn't have just walked that way. He's gonna instruct you guys. He's gonna inform you guys that we're allowed to do this.
Yeah.
And you guys just kicked us out. Made the Department of Corrections look bad on the internet.
And we're trying to do a story about you guys, about what you're doing. We were just taking pictures of the stuff. We don't have to answer questions, but it was pretty obvious.
You're asking us to answer questions.
Well, it's your job. But we didn't go to you. You guys came to us first. What was I doing? I was filming the trophies, the different artwork in the lobby. I made a comment about how the place still had a cell phone. You don't pay phone. You don't see that anymore. We didn't approach the desk or the counter or the glass until he called us over, and his way of approaching us was get off the phone. We didn't even come up to you guys. We had no intention of talking to you.
Okay.
I mean, we would have been in and out in 60 seconds. We just wanted artwork of the front because you can't get it online. The best you can get is Google Street. And not for nothing, Google Street goes everywhere that is public and legal to film, and Google Maps went right up to your front door.
And you want to know the only right that you have?
So I'm assuming Google. I'm assuming Google got permission in order to do that.
But they don't have to get permission if it's public. And secondly, I call, but it doesn't really matter because it's public. Let me ask you a question. Would you have to ask me permission to drive down that road? Of course not. It's public.
You need a driver's license to drive
right.
down that road.
If I took your picture
So
and
you
you
need
asked me to
something to
not
drive
post
down
it,
that road, right?
would I have a right? I would be able to post your picture if I wanted. You don't need a release. It's public. There's zero expectation of privacy in public. The wiretap laws in Massachusetts were found unconstitutional. They were repealed in 2018. So now you can audio record people. If it's in public, it's legal. If I'm at your house, I'm violating your personal privacy. I'm surveilling you, and I'm subject to arrest. Okay. So, for example, Middleton Jail, right? Yeah. Middleton Jail is privately contracted, so there's a little bit of a dispute there. But this is DOC. Okay. This is state of Massachusetts. Even the state police said, I can't send someone out there because there's no issue. You're doing a constitutionally protected activity. And he goes, you weren't in like any behind gates, walls? I said, no, we're in the information center. And he goes,
we'll have to. All right. So we'll have to call the Walpole PD.
Please do.
We'll talk to the Walpole PD and we'll find out. What.
Because we could have followed him right back in there, but he said, "Hang on a second." So we're trying to work not for nothing. It's kind of silly because we come in.
When all of a sudden you see 3 individuals or whatnot come here and they start reporting things without permission, what I mean? Nobody knows about it. It throws up a red flag, and of course we're going to react. Why are you guys recording? What are you doing?
Right, but your job's to de-escalate. Maybe instead of like screaming at us, you just come up and have a conversation.
Have I screamed at you?
No, not you.
Okay,
So that's a poor classification.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying when we entered, we were approached the way that we were approached. So that was kind of the issue because I would have been happy to tell you, hey, we're just working on a story. We're not, even if we won years. So we're not obviously here to cause a problem for you guys. We're just filming. So, and you've been really nice, and if it's an issue with policy where you're not aware, then that's great because we're journalists, so this is why we do this. You know what I mean, man?
No problem. Just please inform them that this is a public place and we have freedom of the press.
Got it. I'll be with you in a minute, all right?
He's going to talk to them first.
Hey, thank you, officer. So things have calmed down a little bit. DOC officer, could I please have your name?
No, she doesn't want to identify, bro.
Oh, she's feeling new ID?
Stay away from the road.
Chapter 46, subsection 98. Massachusetts state laws states that you have to identify when asked by a citizen. Chapter 46, subsection 98.
the last.
We've never been here before.
No, we left. We left and
We've never been here before. So
did
how
we
have this
refuse-
been an ongoing
how did we
issue?
refuse to leave?
Give us a few minutes, all right?
No, she's lying. If we would have refused to leave, we would have been out here waiting for you. She's a tyrant. Sir, please uphold the. They're not law enforcement officers. They're correctional officers. Bro, he's gonna side with them.
Well, let's just see. Because she said it's an ongoing issue.
said-
We've never been here before.
She said we refused to leave. We called every agency. Officer, they don't know the law.
Okay.
We called before we came anyways. We spoke to Sergeant Nelson
Okay.
to ask if it was public, if this is public access legal to film.
Okay.
When we approached her inside about 60 seconds, we were told we were trespassing, but we haven't been served a trespass notice. They told us that they did not have police powers. We had to contact the police. Okay. So we contacted you guys. You guys said that it wasn't. I spoke to your dispatcher. It was a female. Said that this was not her jurisdiction. We would have to contact the state police.
Okay.
So we were actually waiting over there.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just
back up off the roadway?
'cause
Yeah.
You're on the roadway.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
don't you
you're
on
right,
the
you're
roadway?
So we
You're right.
called state.
So
We spoke to.
Listen, they're not looking for a problem, but I guess you were causing a little bit of a disturbance.
No,
in
we
the
weren't
lobby.
even
we have it all
Were-
on film.
Were you videotaping?
We had
Yes.
everything on film.
Yeah.
We weren't
Yeah.
even
So-
speaking.
And we
Okay.
called beforehand,
So
and then
I
we
was
called
just
state
informed
police.
that they have signs posted, no videotaping.
That's fine.
They have vehicles
That's
subject
fine.
to search
That's fine, but
signs.
those are not
this
laws.
is DOC property. It's state property. They're asking you to leave right now.
Oh my
if
God.
you could remain across the street for
Officer.
them, just to keep the peace.
Officer, are you a law enforcement officer or a policy enforcement
No,
officer?
I'm a law enforcement officer.
There's no law that states you can't
Okay,
film
but-
in a public place
but
on,
they
on state property.
okay.
They can ask, but we can refuse.
Okay. So
We're just working
at
on
the
a
very
story.
least, can you stay up
It's
off
our
the
first-
roadway? Can you
Well,
stay
we
up
just
off the
want-
roadway? Because when
We
I
are.
arrived, you were in the middle of the road. So.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
yes.
we were talking to them, but you can
yeah,
ask
we-
Officer Carville. We were standing off on the grass. We were not blocking the roadway,
I understand.
and we contacted before you guys showed up. We contacted police because I wanted to know. No one could tell me who has jurisdiction here. And my question is, if I'm not issued a trespass, I'm pretty sure that I'm correct. That if I'm not issued a trespass, I'm not trespassing, and we're going in there to film. We're not in any secure access points.
But is there any
is-
signs that say no videotape?
There could-
There's a sign in
This
the.
gentleman, this officer told me that
There
there's
may be a
sign
sign.
posted.
There might be a policy, sir.
Okay.
But policy
sign-
is not law.
The sign that we did see says vehicles are subject to
Policy is not
search
law.
Okay, all right.
upon entering there, but we didn't have time to look at any
So do
signs
me a
because as soon
favor,
as you
for the
walked in,
time
we were
being till we
screamed
figure
at.
it out. It's DOC property. Just stay off this roadway.
Who funds DOC?
Okay, it's state property.
So who funds the state?
Okay, it's state property.
Oh
so,
my God! All
Alright.
for guys with cameras.
Well, this is
And the other issue, she
this
said
is
it's
a
a.
Walpole, Norfolk. You're right on the Walpole, Norfolk town line.
So Officer
well, maybe
Van
they
Ness,
will-
so she, excuse me, Sergeant.
That's all right.
So she said that this has been a continuing problem, but we've never been here before.
I don't know. I think
So-
other correctional facilities, people have come to record and.
This
cause
issue is a
disturbances.
general problem.
Correct.
Okay, because we were in there. It's not like we were in there for what, 30 seconds? We walked down.
I wasn't out there
Oh,
when
you were
you
in
guys
there.
came in.
And not for nothing. I don't have to give any information, but we didn't approach them. We're not up to the glass. And secondly, if it's public, the Constitution allows us to do that. Secondly, Chapter 46, subsection 98 says that all law enforcement officers have to identify. She refused to identify. I'm filming a payphone.
Does she have a name tag on her uniform?
Not that I could see.
Okay.
I'm filming a payphone, and the way that we were announced was, "Get out of here! You have to leave! No filming!" And then she came out and said that we were trespassing. We were subject to arrest. It's a lawful command. And I said, "Do you have arrest powers? You have police powers? Because this doesn't sound right to me. I'm press. I do this for a living." And she said, "Well, no, you have to contact police." So we contacted you. They referred us to state police. We spoke to Trooper Durkis, and then on the phone, he told them on my phone, "Are they in any unsecure access points?" No. Are they, what's the issue? They're filming. He goes, "Well, if it's public access, it's a constitutionally protected activity." His words, "There's no expectation of privacy in public." And I have that phone call recorded as well.
Yeah, when I arrived, like I told you,
You're
you can't
hearing,
stand,
yeah.
and you can't stand on the roadway. You got to keep this roadway open to
Correct.
public. Okay.
Right. Well, we were only there because Well, I believe you were the first in the scene, right?
I was, yeah.
In the K9 unit.
No, there's somebody else.
Okay, so the officer in the K9 unit, we were actually on the side of the road when the state police said, "Who's the officer there?" Okay. The only reason we walked to the roadway is because the state officer wanted to know what their issue was, and he's like, "What you're telling me doesn't sound like an issue." So we asked him on speakerphone again, "What's going on? What seems to be the problem?" And he said the same thing. He's like, "I can't even send anyone down there because what you're doing is not against the law."
Okay.
So that's why we were there, because at that point, the state trooper was talking, and then that officer arrived, and he said, "Just hang tight right here. I'm gonna go check in with them." So that's the only reason that we were there in the first place.
Let me speak to them. Again, I came in
Yeah.
late on this, as you know.
I mean, if you're giving me a lawful command under the threat of arrest to say
She's
that's the
asked you to
case,
leave, so let me.
and we did. We were not. We were
Okay,
on.
let me talk to her. Let me talk to
Where
her.
does public property, the state of the city of Walpole, start and the state end? We believe
You know,
3
you're
feet
right
off
on the
the.
line of Norfolk Walpole, and this is DOC property, state property.
Because we were standing on the grass up there by that sign, thinking
Okay.
that we were out of. So we're gonna obey her lawful
Yeah, just
command
stay off
until
the roadway.
authorities tell
At
us
the very least,
otherwise.
Stay off the roadway.
That's why,
Yeah, that's fine.
You guys were over there by the road. We never approached you.
See, okay,
You know,
right.
That's why we never approached you.
Well, because I think what your partner is saying is that we're blocking the road, we're refusing to leave, like, you know what I mean?
we came over here.
He seems to understand.
And he's asking you guys, hey, listen, just stay off the road.
Yeah.
Don't block it.
She's giving
Yeah.
us unlawful
Exactly.
orders.
And all we did was come over here because we heard that the police were called.
Yeah, I called them.
And then I believe that we called the police as well.
Yeah.
So we came up here awaiting the
And as soon
arrival
as we
of the
walked
police.
in, another
That's right. You
gentleman
guys
there
were out
started
there.
screaming.
There's no reason to bother you out there. There's no reason
Right.
to approach
I haven't
you.
stopped
You know,
filming
and then
since
you
I got
guys came
here.
over to
So since
approach
they
us,
were,
and then
Right.
misinformed,
I only came over because the state trooper said, "Well, what he said, what you're telling me filming in there doesn't sound like that. That's not a crime." So maybe, and I said, "Hold on, the officer's right here. Let me go over."
But you understand where we're coming from as well,
property.
like I said.
State property, it's
As
public
a
property.
security
City
standpoint,
property,
the
it's city.
Department of Corrections.
I understand you have a duty not only to protect your inmates but to protect the community. Like this isn't 2.5 Mando. You have people doing life here from crimes from murder to arson.
There's many reasons, good and bad, why people would come into this institution and
Correct.
start recording.
I know that. I do
Some
understand
people
that.
might come in, record. Hey, we just wanted some cool pictures. We wanted to make a movie. We wanted to do a documentary.
Which is the case.
Things like that. And there's other people that might be doing things for bad intentions.
And you know what? We didn't even have the ability to get
To
that.
maybe hurt people.
We didn't have the point to even talk to that, because instead of being like, "What are you guys doing? Is it a story? Are you doing this?" Like, because obviously we're not filming officers and checkpoints. The first interaction is put that camera down, screaming at us, and then she comes out and tells us it's a lawful command, we're trespassing. So if you're gonna de-escalate, that doesn't seem like a good way to get a point across, because right now I'm talking to you like I've not been rude to you, right? I've been,
We're having a normal conversation.
you know, I'm pretty sure that I can do that, and I could do it anyways, but I'm trying to work with you, because what I'm trying to do is bridge the gap.
And right. And
I'm not gonna lie
my
to you,
thing
we
is, like I
rarely
told
go
you,
to,
is that, there's signs
correctional
posted over
facilities.
there.
Yeah.
All right.
But we go
the
heavy.
Department of Corrections
You know,
does
we
not
go
want you
to-
to record
we go to
in the
the federal
lobby
buildings.
on state
We go
property.
to the
over there.
Department of
So
Corrections.
as far
We
as
go
going
to
back in the
City
lobby
Hall.
and starting to
We go-
record and
we go
things like
everywhere
that,
that's publicly funded.
you can do that
And-
with the
and-
permission
and
of
we work on
the
videos
state of
somehow,
Massachusetts
so-
Department of Corrections. But without that permission, we can't stand there and say
Giving us wrong
we
information.
give you permission.
Well,
We have to go by the policy and
Right.
procedure, and we have to tell you, hey,
So
please leave and stop recording.
Right.
You know?
So CO
Which is fine.
Carville.
If you guys want to stand over there, if you guys want to, stay doing filming your movie or whatnot over there, over by the
If
street,
filming in public was illegal,
by all means.
So let me ask you a question, and this is not to be facetious. I'm asking a serious question. It's my best way of coming up with an example. If you were out in, we'll just say, Public Works, okay, because it's a public building, and there's a sign that said "No sneakers allowed." Do you think it's a sign? It's not lawful, like, because a sign exists. If it says you can't carry a gun within 10 feet of where it's a sign. It's not policy. A policy is not law. I mean, and you're enforcing a policy. Chapter 46, subsection 98, and I'm very aware, states that all law enforcement has to identify.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, I normally don't answer questions, but we're having I appreciate this interaction.
All right. Your friend here, I'm assuming you guys are friends, right?
Yeah.
So your friend doesn't like wearing shoes inside the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you come over to his house, you know that he doesn't like anybody wearing shoes in his house, or he says, hey, listen, you mind taking your shoes off for me? As a friend,
she
as a
can,
human
I guess,
being, as you know,
detain
a
and
good person.
do whatever,
Yeah, no
move
problem.
around an
I
inmate,
respect
but-
that, right?
Correct.
It's
A
the
person.
same- So it's the same.
But
thing.
I do
if
agree
you
that-
come onto our property, you know, and I.
Well,
ask
his
you, hey,
property
listen,
would be private, yours is public. But the thing is,
But
at the end of the
still,
day,
as-
it's
as-
a
as
request.
human beings-
I could honor a request. But here's the
Right.
thing: it starts with me just giving you my ID for no lawful purpose,
Okay.
and it ends with a revolution. You know what I mean? Like, these are our rights. They're your rights. They're our rights together, right? You have a badge. You defend an oath, and it starts with a small infringement on those rights,
I don't
and ends with
understand-
a whole bunch of
I don't understand
violations.
Why you want to talk about a revolution?
No, I'm saying that like it's like
that's not
that's
right, you
that.
know?
What I'm saying, my point being is
All
that
all we're asking is if you could please not.
have you been
if
for
you
this,
could
you
please-
stand for that.
if-
That's all I'm saying.
All
You
we're
know what I
asking
mean?
is if you could please not go into the lobby and
That's what we're.
record.
Well, that's why
we
we're
gonna
talking to the
leave.
police.
We were gonna leave, but now we're just trying to prove a point. You know, because look what you guys just did. These officers are not cheap, okay? They charge a lot for the job that
Excuse
they
me
do.
for one moment, officer.
And we're all paying for it. And look how many cops we have here. There's all.
Check later.
There's like $500,000 in salary right there.
God, we have all these cops.
Yeah, but you know what? They should be looking for a criminal right now, not guys with cameras.
Because you guys shoot bullets, I shoot frames per second, and a nice smile.
I'm pretty sure if they had something else to respond to, they would do so.
Yeah, but look, right now there could be a crime in progress.
Oh, on video, I had a cop not respond to shots fired.
No problem.
Yep.
Sir. No problem, sir.
He's putting on the gloves. Ask if we're detained.
Gentlemen, you're all set. Just stay off the roadway, keep traffic.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir. So
Appreciate it, man.
We're good to film inside?
So here's the thing, okay? Just a couple.
I'm just approaching you because I can't hear you
I
very
got you.
well.
I'll come to you, man.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
Here's what's gonna happen. You go to your lobby. You want to record. Do whatever you got to do, as long as you're not getting people's faces, being, you know, rude to people who are obviously going in there, conduct their business.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, you're the best.
All right.
Yeah, right on.
Just please be respectful.
We're
That's,
nice.
that's what we got to do. You know what I
No,
mean?
because
And we
you know
don't
what
want
happened?
want this.
You wanna
Obviously.
know something? As soon as we walked in there, they were screaming at us.
He was pissed.
I got you.
We
I
didn't.
got you.
We never.
Listen.
You know, I know exactly what the disorder is. I know what
Everybody's
disorder
on
is.
edge.
Thank you for honoring your oath,
Nice to
man.
meet you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
usually don't give my
honoring
name,
your
but my name's
oath. Thank
Josh.
you
I
so
want
much.
to
Nice to
introduce
meet you
myself
guys.
because you guys are.
Yeah, we don't have an
we
issue. Just
appreciate
don't
that.
cause a disturbance in there and keep this open.
You know, don't
You
do
know
it.
what
All right,
offends
guys.
me right now, though? That there's a lot of you guys right here.
Yeah.
You guys should be actually looking for, you know.
And you're good
other
cops.
names.
We don't know. We don't know what's
This is
going on,
constitutionally protected activity.
buddy. I got you.
You
This
know,
came
you know
into, like I said,
You
we're
guys-
right on
No,
the
you're doing your job.
You guys get a
That's
good, you guys get a
understandable.
good salary. How much is all these salaries right here combined? Come on, more than $500,000 for sure.
And the thing is, I'm not obtuse to what they're saying. You do have, like, when you have guys coming into a facility, and this isn't county jail, they have everything from arson to murder. You see people with cameras poking around. It's like, well, we have not only the facility prisoners, but we have a community to protect. So I get that, but the issue is like, let's just talk about it, bridge the gap. Don't just come at us, threaten with us, arrest
And
and
there certainly
scream.
is a gap that needs to be bridged. And
And it's officers like you that are doing that.
Yeah, I
A
appreciate
sergeant,
it. I
excuse
appreciate
me.
it.
you guys are very constitutional cops, okay?
yeah, well, thank you.
You, North
Gentlemen,
Attleboro,
stay cool,
Attleboro.
because it's hot out here.
Thank
I'm
you,
sweating.
You too. You got a flak vest under there, man.
Yeah, it is. It's
Take
hot.
care. Thank you.
Thanks, officer. So I wonder if they learned something today.
I think we provided a free education for you guys.
Valuable lesson. Oh, we're gonna hold down the fort just until they leave.
Cool.
How do you got all that helmet gear and stuff on? You must be baking like a brownie, brother. Jesus.
Well, like the Secret Service said, they
How's it going, Sarge?
You just cost the state some money. How do you feel? We tried to explain it.
Officer Carville. Hey, listen, man. Can I shake your hand?
Guy, you're a nice
You
guy, but
you
don't go
you
by
did what
she
you were
says.
supposed to do. You know, you would do what your orders were, and you did the right thing.
Don't go by what she says. You're a nice.
Yeah. Because she learned a valuable lesson today. Drive a shame. So we're just gonna walk on the side here so we're not obstructing the roadway. And we're just gonna take some film of the lobby and just take some look at the artwork and stuff, and you know, then we'll be on our way. It's our constitutionally protected activity. Thanks, officer. And
So now we're gonna get complaint forms.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Get 3 complaint. Get 1 for hot tow truck row. Get 4.
So, Anselmo, there's a lot of people in there, and I want to bring out a valid point right now. A lot of people in there say, oh, you guys run, you guys run. We could have stayed in there. We could have got cuffed up. They probably would have hit us with a disorderly conduct charge because there's a lot of gray in there, and we would have had to figure out this charge at court. But the moment they made us leave, because we were filming, they violated our civil rights. So am I going to stay there? Why do that when I can just obey their unlawful order, have the police come, make them look like fools, make them do the walk of shame, then go right back into the place that told us we were trespassing, fill out complaint forms, pass them on, and then talk to my lawyer about this lawsuit. And you know what?
Not only that, no, what they also need to do is they need to make them pay
For those officers' time.
For those officers' time.
And the time they wasted of ours. We don't work cheap. Our
That's
time's
right.
So my count was 9 officers in total between the corrections officer and the last sergeant to come. So if you think the base pay is $55,000 starting, none of those guys were rookies. 2 were sergeants. So we're gonna say let's make a low estimate in the salary. We'll say $60,000.
$500,000 right there, bro.
$500,000 easy.
$500,000 because for them, so that was the most expensive walk of shame they've ever took. Yep. They just paid $500,000 to work for us. Well, you know what? They didn't pay for it, we did. Because it came out of our tax dollars. So now we're gonna go right back in.
They need to know why we stopped them.
And I think maybe I'll go live this time. Education is free today. Another valuable educational series provided by Auditing America, Accountability for All, and Scott from Production.
Okay, so now we're going back inside. And
I bet they didn't think this was going to happen.
we're gonna get 3 complaint forms.
3 complaint forms.
Did we get 4?
4, 1 for hot tow
And
truck
one for
girl.
hot tow truck girl. We never got her name.
Yep.
What do we got? Hi, how are you? Can I get 3 complaint forms, please?
So we're just going to get some complaint forms.
Excuse me, we need assistance. We need 3 complaint forms, please.
4.
4. 4? Yes. And I need his name and the other officer that was right here when they approached us. I want to come. Yes, I need assistance. I need assistance. No, you can't do that. You can't deny services.
So the police informed us
We have
we're
the right
allowed
to
to be
complain.
here. So we need
So
a
give me a complaint
supervisor
form.
or a complaint form. Because you're a tyrant.
That's not how you.
And he just takes off his name tag. You hear the Velcro? So we'll just call him Officer Tyrant.
Officer Velcro time. No air conditioning in here.
Imagine the inmates.
Oh, dang.
So I just need a complaint form. Maybe we can get some officer to give us a complaint form. Someone coming, hopefully they can help us out. Oh, we
Hey,
just
dude,
need 3
dude,
complaint forms,
Can
man.
you please help us out with some complaint forms? That's all
He's,
we want. We won't,
refusing
we
to
won't
speak
file a
to us.
complaint on you. How's that? We're
Yeah.
not gonna file a complaint on
If
you.
you guys would like to follow a complaint on me, you can.
How?
No.
If there's something that I'm doing that you need to follow,
Well, you
No,
guys-
I don't think you did anything
You
wrong,
didn't do
man.
anything.
Yeah, you passed.
I just need 3 complaint forms, that's all.
I passed.
You passed.
You're a good guy.
Could you please, what's the name of the officer that was with you, the female officer that was with you?
You guys, I'm not quite sure what her name is because I don't work with her at this facility.
Come on, man.
Honest, all right? I don't work with her at this
All right,
facility.
can you tell me his name?
She works for a different,
This officer?
different unit.
Chapter 48, 46, subsection 98.
Do you have complaint forms that they can have? No. You don't have any forms for them?
No, he's lying.
What's your name, sir?
He screamed at us.
Chapter 46, subsection 98, Mass State Law says that you must identify when approached and asked by a citizen. I did. They just told me to come back in here and speak to you because you did the wrong thing because you're a tyrant. How's that for them apples?
You see?
This is the disconnect. This is the problem. And it's, you know what it is? Do you do details or off perimeter?
No, I work inside, and you know.
Okay, so you have an interaction with the inmates.
I do.
Let me tell you something. The way that you survive in a place like this, and you take it at face value is, you know, you run the show, right? But you go home. They own the house, right? And it's bad cops like that that make it dangerous for good cops like you.
By the way.
For what it's worth. So do you know his name?
Come on, officer.
I do know his name, but if he doesn't want to identify himself, I'm not gonna.
yeah.
Well, at this point,
Listen.
You're
but
are you considered law enforcement as well?
I'm considered.
So you have to
correctional
identify.
officer
Chapter
of the state of
46,
Massachusetts.
subsection 98. Now, if you read the entire paragraph, it says, any officer that appears out of uniform, which means they're not identifying for it to be seen, they have to identify by police ID number, badge number, or name. Any officer that is complicit in not naming an officer that is in violation of that law and subsection is himself in violation.
Then,
Yeah,
then,
you will
listen,
actually be
no
breaking
disrespect,
your
guys.
policy.
No disrespect, guys. But then, if that's the case, then I'm violating policy. I'm sorry.
You don't.
That's-
Why wouldn't
all
you?
right, man.
Okay, you're a correctional officer, right? Are you hoping to be a police officer one day?
No.
No. Okay. Well, anyway, you encourage people to do the right thing, right? Your job is right here to make sure inmates are doing the right thing.
All right, so they're trying to create privacy.
One of the guys that's supposed to make sure that people do the right
So we're
thing.
gonna call and we're gonna speak to Sergeant Nelson, and we're gonna escalate it up the chain of command. Is what we're gonna have to do.
You should. Why would he treat us like that, dude? What's his problem? And,
I mean, so hopefully we can get a
complaint from. Look at him.
hopefully we can get a supervisor out here. So can I have your name, please?
I don't have time.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
Chapter 46, subsection 98. You're a law enforcement officer or contracted by the state of Massachusetts. Specifies by Mass state law and regulations that when asked by a citizen or approach, you must identify yourself by police ID number, badge number, and/or name.
Badge number.
Also
Okay,
upheld
what's
by
your
your
badge number?
departmental policy. If I look at my glasses, would you tell that to the judge if someone had a disability? I'm asking you to tell me your badge number.
3310. That's fine.
What is it, 3310?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really it's really small.
Okay.
And what was yours, officer?
Do you know Officer Carville?
Oh, okay, thank
Have
you.
you worked with him before?
Because you're actually supposed to identify him too. Him.
Yeah. Have you worked with
or
Officer
you're
Carville
breaking
before?
policy. So the only person that's been breaking policies right now is you.
Yeah, we just need complaint forms. Do you think you can grab one for us or contact your supervisor? I
You
think.
can contact. the
Okay, so how are we going to have them know that the problem that we had was with you? If
You
you
can call the DOC headquarters
Yeah.
on Monday morning.
and give them what information?
Give them all the information.
3310. No problem. But you're supposed to identify him too. As a law, you're considered law enforcement as well. So if you see a person, your job is to make sure people are doing the right thing in here.
There we go.
So it's very hypocritical that one of you guys is doing the wrong thing and you're.
And he took his name tag off. What is he doing wrong? The only time I hide
He's
something I'm
everything
doing if I
wrong.
did something wrong.
The only people that
Are you
hide-
filming? I'm just gonna call. All right, guys. So they learned a valuable lesson today. We went in. They said that we were trespassing, even though we haven't been provided a trespass notice, and they gave us a lawful command to leave. Now, yes, we could have just stayed there, but here's the thing: they could have charged us with disorderly conduct, had the police come pick us up. We would have had to fight it in court. There would have been no educational value. There would have been no learning experience. So we took that lawful command because we knew it was unlawful. It violated our civil rights because they made us leave a public place funded by public tax dollars because we were practicing a constitutionally protected activity. So I'll take that unlawful command every day so that way I can go back in, because it hurts them way more when we walk back in and make them look stupid than it does if we get arrested. So they want to take off their name tags. They want to not ID. All right, guys, please don't call MCI Cedar Junction and let them know about that officer with the badge number listed below. Please do not call the phone number on the screen. Again, please don't call and let them know how they did. Please don't. And that's the reason we stopped you today.